stupid. It's so cold in the D. Remember that? Oh, God. What a catastrophe that was. Oh, boy. Yo. Hey. What's going on? Let's go.
Now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a Patreon bonus. Hey, yeah. This is a daily rant-filled, expletive-filled podcast covering news, nonsense, and my personal shenanigans, beliefs, opinions, huge opinions. 866-838-HUGE. What is the number? 1-866-838-HUGE. Statewide web address. I think I need to ask Bill. Can you explain to me what that is? But then again, I run the risk of him losing his mind and screaming at me, and I don't want to deal with that shit. All right. So as we get started, I'm starting to like the idea of longer hair. I was looking at local 50-something-year-old stud Brian Vander Ark, who at first made a living as the lead singer of the Verve Pipe, and I think still is. I mean, one of the most talented musicians on the planet, and he lives right here in West Michigan. And you see Vander Ark being Dutch. He's like 6'14", and he's got this beautifully colored hair, almost as beautiful as mine. Let's be honest here. The white, gray, silver thing is where it's at. You want to stand out, you got to have white, shock white hair. My dad's is as white as this paper, and it's just luxurious. So I'm so excited about that. But I was looking at Vander Ark, and the dude, I mean, he's just the most handsome jackass there is. Big, tall, strapping Dutch dummy. And his hair is just cut so perfectly. My pal Brian Kelly took some photos of him. Part of Brian's podcast. What is Brian's podcast called? The In Focus podcast or Zoom In Lens pod. It's something to do. Full exposure. It's something camera related. It's Full Exposure podcast with Brian Kelly. The Zoom In podcast. Jesus. So, all right. Yeah, I was looking at some of the pictures on the Total Recall podcast, whatever the hell it is. I already forgot. What is he? Full Exposure. Damn it. I got to write it down. And I'm like, look at this guy's hair. It's just perfect. So I haven't actually gone to a place to get my hair cut by a professional in probably 10 years. I just go like a number 3 on the sides. And I put a number 4 for the top. Trim my eyebrows, trim my nose, trim my ears, trim my neck, and do it all. And then, but I think I might go down the road of having a professional do it. There's only one person to ask about this, and that would be a man who was a slave to his appearance, constantly having to tell the women to go away because they're so often trying to consume all of his time and energy. Hey, you there?
I'm right here, Eric. Say, were you talking about the Justin Timberlake every time I did a live broadcast?
I was talking about your stellar appearance, Bill, and how difficult it must be to keep the women at bay. And so that's kind of where I was going with this to start. I mean, what is it like having them sit, like kind of throw themselves at you and you're kind of like, look, take it easy, you know?
Now, the only thing that was being thrown at me for about the first 6 weeks of the pandemic was every possible starch on earth.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I packed it on too, man.
Oh, I remember you posted that.
Oh,
that one. Maybe it was I forget what video you did where you were showing your frog chin.
Oh my God. Yeah. It had gotten so bad, and God bless one of my audience members / sponsors put out this thing called Diet Bet, which you lay down actual money, and for 4 weeks you got to lose 4% of your weight, and if you pull it off, they give you your money back. So that's what we did. And then what you do is, for everybody who is in on the bet with you, whoever doesn't make it, then the winners divide their money. So you can win their money for being.
Oh my God. That is like that's awful. How come you're not doing that right now with the Zaniacs?
Well, that's what it was. That was started by the Zaniacs, and I did, and we're doing a second one now. Will you be in on the third one with us?
I'll do your third one. Give me a little time. I got to get out of the pandemic with summer, maybe jog a little bit. Yeah. Because I will say, about 6 weeks in on the pandemic, I went to put on some pants that just fit 6 weeks before. Yeah. And while I'm holding a piece of pizza trying to slam the
Well, it's really spectacular, because what you do is you weigh in, and all you have to do is lose 4% of that. So I weighed in, and I only had to lose 7 pounds in 4 weeks. So that's not so bad, So it's definitely doable. You just got to do your thing. I mean, I know you like to play basketball and stuff like that. So it won't be long until you're back doing that. Are you back doing that? Is that what's going on?
No, well, outside the golfing, especially that first couple 3 weeks you had to walk, that was 10 pounds not changing any part of the diet. And also when you get, and I've been supporting takeout, whether it's Brands or any location, Kitchen 67 and more. But I'll tell you, man, that, no gyms, no MVP, no basketball, none of these social gatherings. If you're a middle-aged man, you were just going down Porky Pig Highway.
I had to force myself outside. I didn't want to do it, but I started to
I was so lazy, Eric. I watched everything on Netflix. Yeah. I watched Ozarks. By the way, speaking of Netflix, did you watch the new Jeffrey Epstein documentary?
I just started it.
Oh, my God.
That's rough. Really rough.
Oh, God. That is just, that is sick. I watched that last night. I couldn't turn it off. It's 4 different parts. It's 4 hours. But, I backed off on a bowl of candy on the right, nachos on the left, and pizza in the middle.
Yeah.
That's my pandemic diet.
Have you been doing the Huge Show actually at the radio station in the last handful of weeks?
Yeah, I have. And I had an interesting experience on Monday that I roll in to do the show. Uh-huh. And I knew what went down in Grand Rapids on Saturday night.
Right.
And then so I go to get a sub across the street at Jimmy John's, and I pull on the door and it's locked. And I see the franchisee's owner and manager. They open the door and they said, "Hey, we're closed." And I go, "Well, closed? It's 2:00 in the afternoon." And they're like, "Oh no, the police just told us that something's going down at 3:00 and we have to close." And I'm like, "Going down?" And then on cue, I turn around and here comes a convoy of National Guard vehicles setting a perimeter around that block with the police station, downtown GR. So I went and got Superfly Hayes, Brett Hayes, our producer, right. For those of you that used to listen to Free Beer and Hot Wings. Yep. And I said, "Hey, throw a best of on. We're getting the hell out of here." And so he does that. We leave. We're walking out. We turn, and right there by Fulton and Ionia, right by our parking garage, and I posted this photo on the Huge Show Facebook page and the Twitter page. We took a photo. There was a perimeter set up that I swear to God, in the movie Hurt Locker, that bomb demo team didn't have as much support as was lined up. And Brett goes to me, "This looks like Baghdad." And I will tell you, buddy, when I got my car in that, parking garage, I got emotional and cried because I said, this is Grand Rapids and it's a National Guard and we're still fighting through a pandemic. And I'm like, what is going on in America, Eric?
You actually started to cry?
Yeah, well, I was emotional, man. Come on, he got National Guard.
Yeah, I had no idea you were so sensitive, Bill.
Well, you know what, man? As a father, as a proud American, when I look at what's on TV nonstop the last 7 nights, when I look at the pandemic and what that's meant to people and myself and my family, and I look at everything going on, that there's a perimeter in downtown Grand Rapids with National Guard. Come on.
Were you the guy that got hit in the face with a tear gas canister?
Now, there's,
how about that one? That was incredible.
Well, here's the school of protesting, and I think BuzzFeed sent out a guide. Top of the list should be, don't walk towards the tear gas gun.
Well, the thing is, though, the guy, they had maced him, so he was done. And then he just turned around and the guy goes, here, take this one, too. And I think that guy's going to get in big trouble over that.
Well, there are some officers getting fired because of excessive action in this. But there's also stories to balance this and why, man, Eric, I'm just calling for peace, man. We have to come together. We have to do what it takes, because you get that 77-year-old retired black police officer being gunned down on Facebook Live in St. Louis trying to protect a pawn shop. You're seeing cops run over in Buffalo.
Oh, there's no question.
Your officers shot in the head in Vegas and bricks thrown at them. And, there's nobody's right in this. And this is what's sad. Nobody's right in this effing mess. And we have got to come together. Both sides of the political aisle is a clown show. We just need to come together, have those conversations, and do this peacefully before we destroy America. And, and what happened to George Floyd in that video, and those officers should never get out of prison. They should, at least the one who kneeled on his knee.
Right. Yep.
And the other three, or any police officer that was there and watched that, which, by the way, who filmed that and didn't jump in to try and help? But again, I'm not going to go there yet. Police, they deserve that.
Yeah.
But what's happened in America right now? No one's talking about the attack on law enforcement.
No, that's true. And I think that, it's almost like there's almost so much news that they want to put out there. There is a big dynamic there about what actually that people want to see, and that's a shame, because too often you hear about stories that should be given a big headline about dead cops and stuff like that, and nobody talks about that. All they're talking about is the other side. So I absolutely agree with that.
Well, there's no sides here, Eric. Here's what there is. This has been going on since the lead up to 2015 to the election, that there's networks with agendas, there's newspapers, there's blogs, there's people on Twitter, on Facebook, there's radio shows. Everybody has an agenda. And you know what? I look at a black police officer and I look at a black man killed. I look at police officers being run over. I look at the guy taking the mace and the tear gas to the face. There's nobody, the White House, the left, the right, the center, nobody is right. The only people who are right in this have been the peaceful protesters.
Yes. And I'm glad you bring that up, because I've had to pivot on something that I want to run by you.
Go ahead.
It stems from the idea about Kaepernick. And, I for the longest time, I was very much, I felt, I didn't feel good about glomming onto anything that guy said or did. But now I kind of do, Bill. And I wanted to pick your brain as to what you think about him taking a knee now.
Okay, him taking a knee, I don't have an issue with. Him calling for social justice reform, I don't have an issue with. And it is coming to light right now. Where Kaepernick lost me and split America was when he said all law enforcement are modern day slave patrols. That's not the case. All law enforcement, they're not hunting down black people everywhere in America.
Right.
You have that You have that 2 percentile, and it's a 2 percentile probably of people you see looting and rioting. The 2 percentile of whether it's Antifa or whoever it is. It's not no skin color preference here. What Kaepernick could have done, okay? If you take the knee and you don't wear the pig socks, okay? All right, you don't wear the pig socks.
Sure, that was a misstep. There's no question. That was terrible.
You don't label all law enforcement at the time 2016 when he did this. You don't label all law enforcement as modern day slave patrols. And you're Colin Kaepernick, and you lead one of those protests. Do you know in a peaceful protest that Colin Kaepernick then and Colin Kaepernick now, 1 million people would march with him to Washington, D.C. for peaceful protest and change. He could lead. He could sit down with the president, with the mayor, with any senator, congressman, any police chief.
Right now,
he could start. He could he could have back then. And there was never, his action was never to go to the hot spots of Ferguson, Baton Rouge, Baltimore, where there was blood on the streets, where there were black people wrongfully killed or injured. I get that, where there were rogue cops who deserved to be fired. The one thing I have said through this now is that it's up to police departments and the police force, the good men and women who protect and serve, to eliminate the bad cops. Not because they're a fraternity or a union, eliminate the bad cops on your force. But the one thing Colin Kaepernick and all these athletes, LeBron and everybody's speaking out, and it's a wonderful thing. The one thing they can do right now, are you telling me LeBron can't go knock on the mayor and the governor's door in California or Ohio or anywhere and have a conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He should.
Right? He can go have that conversation. Colin Kaepernick missed a chance, and I'm being honest here, is that Colin Kaepernick missed a chance that if the peaceful knee, okay? Why are you kneeling? For social justice reform. I want to meet with every police chief I can, and I'm going to start here in California, and I'm going to go back to my home state of Nevada. And he could have been a modern day Martin Luther King, okay? And Martin Luther King took a bullet because there was still bigotry and racism. And there's still bigotry and racism today, but it doesn't define all of white America. It doesn't define all 50 states.
No.
But what needs to happen is that you need to go in and you need to have a conversation. And that's what Colin Kaepernick could do right
well,
now.
I haven't, I guess I haven't looked for it, but what does seem a little bit strange is with all these people taking a knee now, I haven't heard anything from him. Has there been any, has he talked on social media?
He said a couple things that he's going to support the people getting arrested. He set up a fund for some of the people that get arrested. And why isn't Colin Kaepernick going to LA and leading a protest, a peaceful march?
Well,
the one
yeah.
we had in Grand Rapids, prior to Saturday night, the media doesn't show you a lot of the big crowd at Rosa Parks Circle, where her name alone defines the fight against racism. The riots make for TV clicks and hits and numbers, okay? And what's happened here is Colin Kaepernick right now could be a guy that could really, ironically, and I like what you said about pivoting, and it's not changing what you stand for, but Colin Kaepernick right now could announce, please, don't riot, don't loot. I want to begin a journey with my fellow athletes who support me and leaders, and we want to start a conversation tour across America with all police departments and elected officials, and let's get together, right?
Exactly. Hey, I'll tell you what, if there's a time for that guy to get back into the league, it's now. I mean, it's remarkable. A year ago, nobody would.
Yeah, but it's by his actions, not his words.
Right.
Too much of this. And that's why, Eric, and I know from your Facebook to your podcast to what you do, Twitter, we get nothing done with Twitter and Facebook, okay?
Well, I get in fights. I get in fights.
So do I. So I just decided it was eating up my life and time to back off, okay? And I told people,
not
I'm not
me.
getting into you. I know, Eric. But I just want somebody to start something Trump and could you imagine if Trump and Kaepernick met in the Oval Office?
Oh, that would be it'd be like it would be bigger than Trump and the North Korean dude, you know?
I mean, my God, Trump and Kaepernick in the office, and he keep calling him Kuppernick.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's what we need, man. Look at New York right now. Colin Kaepernick should be in Manhattan on a microphone addressing people in Times Square, saying we need to be peaceful.
Yep.
And sitting down with the police chief. What can we do? Right?
Exactly. Hey, I want to talk to you about the state of radio. It seems like you and I got thrown into positions where at the time we thought, oh God, what is happening to us? But now you being entirely on content for hire, me being content online, we're doing okay at the end of the day, Bill.
You know what we are? We're Tom Hanks and Castaway, and we survived. And radio and you throw in the pandemic, the state of radio is still strong where there are personalities. So Free Beer and Hot Wings still have people listen. Congratulations on 1 million podcasts over the last year.
Thank you.
Just amazing. You have one of the great podcast audience in the history of podcasts.
That is true.
Great job. So, I have my network. We're adding Detroit on June 15th on AM 1270, which will be a first.
Wow, I did not know that. I know I had been hearing that it was potentially coming and maybe
it's
not.
Done.
Wow.
It's done with
June 15th.
Benecom. Well, but you got to remember now, radio stations and companies are going to look at content for hire from the Michigan Sports Network with Marty Boer and myself, and even you.
Yes.
They're going to look at us and say, hey, we're going to put these guys on because it doesn't cost us as much as the other guys.
Yeah, would you have Marty call me? If he does anything, I'd love to be part of it. I could give him an hour a day of whatever he wants.
I will talk to him. There's no reason why your podcast, the not edited version, but I'm not going to nuke everybody and everything in my path version.
It'd be a special one only for him. Only.
It'd be like, you look like Hannibal Lecter. You'd be doing it with the violence.
You know how many times I've said "go F yourself" on this podcast? I think someone could do a running total of the times I've said that to people. It's the most fun thing in the world.
You need to actually do a compilation for your Patreon audience, and do a compilation of all your swear words on your podcast.
Oh yeah, it's special. And you know what's crazy is in the summertime, I have this window rattler air conditioner, which makes it so it's a lot less soundproof to my neighbor. And I'm very, very concerned because my neighbor is like the sweetest soul, and here I am talking like a frickin' Omaha truck driver, and I'm worried that it's bad.
You're doing a good, it's an incredible process you put together with your Facebook, to your paid subscriptions, to your Facebook lives, to your studio setup. I love seeing your dogs sleeping when they're right by.
Oh my God!
Usually those dogs have been riot dogs. They've been rioting for about the last 6 months.
Tell you what,
you got some video up north of these dogs in some pen look like Shawshank Redemption, the dog version.
Let me ask you this. Now, I saw your kid at one of the last Griffins games of the year. Was that Ace or Leggy who was playing in the band?
Ace was with Forest Hills Eastern band. They played the national anthem, and they did a great. I think that was the last Griffins game, wasn't it?
It was on a Wednesday. Yeah, it might have been the last Griffins game. And what's crazy is I cannot believe how much those kids have grown. They're like giants now. Holy crap! What are you feeding those kids, Bill?
I think Ace is going into 8th grade now, and Ace is 5'9.5", 178.
Oh my God! Is he gonna play? Is he gonna play sports in the fall?
Yeah, he plays football, and so there's good news with all that happening right now. That it looks, it really does look like the sports are coming back for the kids, and the fans outside of parents being able to watch games, just like what they're saying with Major League Baseball and NFL. It's going to be, I don't think that's going to happen initially. It may not happen at all this year, where school districts will just be safe and not do fans at all. It won't be worth the risk. And, the one thing everybody's waiting for is this second surge that, they're thinking that could happen, even though Dr. Flipauci says that now, well, I don't anticipate it. What?
What'd you call him that for? Everybody loves that guy. Huh?
Dr. Flipauci. All right. One day, here's Dr. Fauci. I anticipate 2.2 million people will die. Next day, I'll go with 2.
I don't know about that. It wasn't nearly that bad, but all right.
No, now he says the second wave is not inevitable, which he did say that the previous 2 weeks. But let's be honest about the pandemic and how fast we went from 0 to stage 4 here in Michigan, and Whitmer's saying stage 5 by July 4th. Is that if you look at it, how fast things have been changing. And even the University of Oklahoma school president said, 2 weeks ago, I didn't think we're going to have fans or even play football. And now I think we're going to play football and have at least some fans in a stadium. Look how fast this has evolved.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. So, isn't it funny how the pandemic just went away from the news?
Oh my God. It's like it never happened. If I tell you what, there's a lot of things that, with that you look back on for this, the whole dynamic of you have a pandemic, we're supposed to stay away from each other. Something terrible happens that everybody gets together, and then but no one's talking about the pandemic after the death of George Floyd. You're right.
Yeah, well, people are watching the social unrest because they're locked inside their homes.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Hey, look, I'm gonna cut you loose. I know you're a busy man. I really appreciate you being here, and everybody says hi. It's good to hear your voice. It sounds like you're doing fantastic. And you're we live to fight another day. How about that?
Hey, and also my best to your dad, to your family, to your dogs, to your cats, to your beaver.
Thank you, Bill.
Awesome. I love all your animals, Eric. You are building something here that will only grow. Congrats on 1 million podcasts, my man. Okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're a good man. You've always been very supportive of me from way back when I got fired from Free Beer. You were the first one to reach out, and I make
it. You know what? Hey, if you and I can come together, Trump and Kaepernick can sit
there. You
down
go.
And have a
Wouldn't that be something? I want to see him playing again. I think it'd be so fantastic to see that guy. I just want to watch the spectacle of Kaepernick playing football again.
I'm surprised some NFL team right now, and I'll say this: could you imagine if the Vikings put him as the backup to Kirk Cousins now in Minneapolis?
Oh my God!
At the heart of all this, right?
Yeah, what they should do is they should let him play with like a sword, and he could like stab people while he's playing the game.
No violence, my man, brother. If we want to achieve peace, we have to do it without violence.
I'm kidding.
We need to walk.
Shut up.
We need to walk hand in hand with no violence.
Whatever. Yeah, it's just a dumb joke, you idiot. All right, I'll talk to you.
I love you.
Okay, see you. Bye. Bill Simonson, there he is. My God, just like that. Thank you to him. You know who else I got to call? God damn. Gosh darn it. I was, my heart was broken yesterday. And so, you got to be kidding me. We spent so much time yesterday, and then I turn around, and then, wait a minute. Hold the phone. We talked on this podcast.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right.
Dude.
Hanging in there.
Okay. So I'm just going to get a few people caught up to speed while you get your thoughts together. We had you on yesterday, and all sorts of good news because you were traveling a little ways away from your home to a way far, like 4 hours away, to pick up a dog to adopt. And then the very last thing you checked on was at your residence, which they have strict protocol for people who live there, is that there's a weight limit on the dog. Then that has ruined your plans. Is that right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Man, Kenny. That broke my heart. I was like, wait a minute, we were all ready to go with you getting this dog.
Yeah, man. I fucking cried.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. And I've been accused of not being an animal person before.
Right.
It's just, you know what? I guess I'm picky, or I don't know. It's just, like I said, I hadn't had my own dog since I was a kid, but Yeah, I was covering everything. I put in 2 orders on Amazon. I was getting the largest size crate train. I even got the raised up food bowl and water
Oh
deal.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I was going all out, getting all this stuff. Like, I got the really nice, cushy looking bed and all that for them. I had it all on order, and then I'm like calling every now and then. They're busy. They don't always answer the phone.
Yeah.
There's like one person working in the apartment office.
Sure.
And so I finally get her on the phone, and I'm like, hey, this is happening. I know there's a fee involved, and what all do I need to do? And so she told me all of that. And then she started asking me how big the dog is. And I'm like, I don't know, it's a medium-sized dog, and then she mentioned the weight restriction, and man, my heart just sank deep into my soul. Like, it was bad.
Did you say anything, or did you say,
I told her.
Maybe just say, he's a couple pounds over that, no big deal, right? Maybe like lead in like that. Did you go down that road?
No, see, I didn't know at the time. As soon as she told me, I grabbed my phone and I was messaging the person at the shelter, asking, and I didn't get the answer back during the phone call. But I was like, yeah, you got to be kidding me! Like, he has been in this shelter over a year,
right,
and keeps getting passed up because he's 8 years old. Has to be the only pet. He's like apparently wonderful when it's just him, but they've all taken him home and tried him, and he's just very territorial. He doesn't want any other animals around.
What did you try to maybe win them over with the explanation, or did they flat out say no?
Well, the thing is, again, I didn't know that he was over while I was on the phone, and she asked what breed, and I said, well, he's a lab mix. That's all I really know. And from there, she was saying, yeah, he might be over. And I just went over a little bit of the story, and she did mention how their hands are tied. It's really weird. I didn't even know it when I was looking for a place. This is income restricted, and it took me over 3 months just to get in. It was ridiculous, and that wasn't because they didn't have an opening. It was because of all the paperwork and hoops you have to jump through and approvals. It was ridiculous, man.
Okay, so
it's a federal thing. They can't bend the rules at all. That's the line, and that's it.
God, man, I'm telling you, if it were me, if I was in her position, I would have just pretended I didn't hear it. I would have just been quiet. But damn it, maybe she could get in trouble or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, she actually could, and like I could get kicked out, and
it's so stupid.
I just can't. It is, man, and the thing is that it encourages no offense to anyone, but I can't stand little yappy dogs that are just like not even the size of a football, and their little annoying barks. I just can't, and I'm put up with that on the other side of my wall all the time.
Man, I tell you what, when I go to Tennessee, I'd be tempted to stop and go get them, but you know me, man, I can't. I got 4. I'm already.
Oh, I know.
I'm already 2 more than I should be. Hell, I mean, some would say 3 more. I mean, sometimes I lose count of how many, but damn it, I really feel bad, man, because your heart was just set on that dog. Man, was I stoked.
Yeah, yesterday was like the highest of highs when I got the message saying, yeah, come get him, pretty much. And then the lowest of lows.
Oh, my God, man. Well, all right. I don't know what to say, man. I can't say anything that's going to make you feel better. It just sucks. Tons of shit is what it sucks.
Yeah, it does, man. And as much as, I hate it for me personally, the fact that he's in this shelter and has been there over a year, I hate it more for him.
Right. What about if someone he should be. He's an 8-year-old dog. He weighs about 50 pounds. His name is, you say Brownie?
Yeah.
Okay. Brownie, the wonder dog, needs a home. So it isn't going to work. It never does, but you never know. In my meager spot in the world, if any of the audience members, whether on the live stream or the recorded podcast, can you imagine if we got someone to? Because the big thing is the dog's been in the shelter for a year, and you'd love nothing more than him to be laying on somebody's couch, right?
Oh, exactly. That's what I wanted more than anything, and that's what drew me in when I came across the post. Like, not only like there's the pictures, and just look at him. He's
perfect.
I don't know.
His beautiful little
and
face.
The fact that he is he's just an older dog that wants to just kind of lay around and be close to people and loved on. And
oh man,
they said he's really food driven.
So are you. That's what's good. That's why you're a match.
He's my spirit animal.
You got to shave the dog's head to make him look just like you.
But no, man. Like in the diet bet thing, I lost 15 pounds. So I lost one more pound than I needed to.
Whoa, you lost 15 pounds?
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled that off, man. But let's see. Today I've already had some ice cream.
Oh, dude, don't do it. Don't do it, Kenny. You've worked so hard.
Yeah, I know. But actually, like, I submitted the weigh-in last night, and I didn't really eat at all yesterday. And after I did, I went for the ice cream.
Are you talking about for diet bet number 2 or diet bet number 1?
Oh, for the first one, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not in on the second one right now. I didn't really think that I was going to make it, but
gotcha.
Somehow did. And
I just heard from Kevin Kuipers, who he emailed in and he weighed in and he missed it by 0.2 pounds.
Oh, yikes.
So we all divided up money. I thought you said you weren't going to win diet bet, and then at the last second, you just had a big push. How did you manage? Because I remember you complaining that you weren't even going to be close.
That's what I thought. And I almost didn't even weigh in last night.
Oh my!
And then when I did, I was like, "How did that happen?"
Wow. Well, all right, man. I wish you the best. I'm really sorry that happened to you. It's going to take a little time.
But hey, if somebody out there doesn't have pets currently and has been, thinking about it, and they want that type of dog with those characteristics, oh, crap, I guess I'm in the oven.
What's going on? Is there a fire alarm going on?
No, it was my Google Home.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
All right,
forgot all about it. But they'll actually, they have transporters that will take him anywhere in the country. Yeah,
that's what happened to Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog. They'll do that for you. That's how we got him from Texas. So I'll tell you what, if anybody has, you can email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'll point you into the right direction with Kenny, and then you can go from there. Fair enough?
Sounds good, man. I really hope that we can at least get him a good home.
You're a good man. You're a sweet, sweet soul. One of many that make up the audience of this show. I really appreciate you.
Well, like you, man. I think. I know I've got a big heart, and I wear it on my sleeve most of the time. But,
no, I think you're a saint, Kenny. You're a sweet soul and everything. And that's why everybody loves you.
Well, I don't know about that.
Nice moves, Kyler.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Right, I'll talk to you. There you go, the world famous Kenny. Once again, I'm broken heart to be sure. Oh, poor guy. All right, man. That's kind of like an interview show. That's what we got. A little bit different, but what the hell? It's something to listen to. It's better than the stupid radio. All right, folks. I love you. God bless. We'll talk to you very soon. Till next time. Bye-bye.